actually stopped writing this since new folks to the setting and make sure they've got their bearings here.
He's been here before.
Yeah.
On the mirror side.
Okay.
So why can't you use 3 tablets at the same time?
You
Well,
can.
that's where
They just might explode.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like a.
It's too much god energy.
Yeah, it's
It's like
scary.
a Buddhist bed theme park.
I once saw a killing curse,
Theme
and it backfired.
park. Here, like.
But then he got better.
I was going to say, how bad was that one?
Well, we were hoping it was going to kill the horrible demon man,
Or flame.
and then the demon man went like, "You just tried to kill me."
How was that?
I might in the future, but not right this second.
I pointed that out to you.
I should roll 1 dice at a time.
No one's from the last group, so it's new again.
Yeah.
You're a new character, right?
No, his character's on the previous one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I recognize you.
Yeah, no. I'm still melting incense onto my head so that I smell fresh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh wait, did he get like because of water or something, or?
It's like some kind of weird Egyptian thing that they had melting incense blocks on their foreheads to make them smell nice, like perfume.
It's meant to be.
I will of course be sure to wave at you from my prison bindings, and you can go.
That's what started off.
Wait, are we captured? I thought we were in the tower last time.
I have requested to be captured again.
You've been captured again.
Wearing clothing, all that stuff.
We were in the tower.
Are we still in the tower, or are we out?
Coming, exiting the tower as we began here, because the party was rushing out of it. We had getting the tablets out of there. The tablets did get safely out of the city before the horde arrived, and that's where we'll begin. And I'll set the stage for all our new folks in just a couple seconds. Wait, and then Cody just left. Oh well. We'll have everybody.
It's hurting cats in here.
Yeah, just to get us rolling, and then people can, when they need to run to the bathroom or anything.
I imagine it would hurt if it actually worked. Well, sometimes it hurts. You sass it.
But 8:30 is honestly not bad for getting started.
Yeah.
Half an hour for all the setup and character creation.
Well, the number of books at the table this time has gone up significantly.
What does that
man.
look like, too?
Half back 9? Is that right? Okay.
I just wanted to make sure I was going to
Wonderful.
put in parentheses, that's a number.
Oh no, yeah, looks
Okay.
100% like a 9.
Okay.
I don't know where he went.
You know if Cody's going to be long?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Any other questions in the interim? Uncertainties or anything? Since we have next moment here.
Do we die?
How long has it been?
Well, a lot of you lived last time. So.
What exactly does it mean here on my page from last time where it says never sleep again?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, you're from last time also. You got power. Your power was that you don't need to sleep anymore. But he also said, who knows how that could affect you, psychologically.
But you can't be put to sleep, which is really useful in a lot of ways.
My question was, how long has it been? I assume it's been a little bit, like
almost
a couple
immediately. It'll be on the order of hours here, and exiting the tower here, because you got out before the rest of the party. So setting the stage for the newcomers here. That before its descent into chaos and ruin, the city of the thousand tongues was the greatest in all the land of Shinar. But there is a proper way that we begin all such tales. There's a litany, a sacred rite in telling these stories, that in those first days, in those most distant days, in those first nights, in those most remote nights, in the first years, in those most ancient years, King Nimrod, the mighty hunter, set himself to building an empire that would span the earth, uniting all of humanity in a tower to rise up to the heavens and become as gods. Some of the gods looked kindly upon this plan, and in raising humanity to the height of their potential and achievement. But Enlil, the Sky Father, was not so fond of this arrangement. A great war waged in heaven between the gods, and then fury raining down upon earth. It was swift, it was decisive, and it was brutal beyond all human imagination. And with the great curse of chaos that the Sky Father rained down upon the tower and humanity, chaos consumed the land, languages were confused, the unity of humankind was broken and scattered to the four winds of the earth. However, it is said that not all hope is lost, that though the Skyfather won his war with his siblings and children and cast the other gods down from heaven, now the fallen ones, as they are called, that he himself was grievously injured in this battle and has retreated into the inner sanctum in heaven, leaving vacant the throne of heaven. It is also said that any who could sit upon that throne and survive would inherit all the powers of heaven and earth and dominion over them. Some seek that prize, foolhardy throne seekers, some who serve the great fallen ones and wish to restore their gods to their rightful place. Others perhaps who see in themselves the potential for divinity in entering the tower and becoming changed by the holy energies which flow down upon this place, the Molam, the aura of dread and terror and divine might that saturates its very stones. We begin now in the city of 1,000 tongues, called Babel by some, in the land of Shinar, as one such party of throne seekers are making a hasty retreat down from the tower, having recovered lapis lazuli tablets of incredible power and value to a great summoner in a distant hidden city of Eridu upon the plains. But that is far from here and far from your concerns at the
And
moment.
there's a curse mark, you know, about the city. You can't talk about it to anyone outside the city.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the moment, there are more pressing concerns. As a great horde of warriors are descending upon the walls of the city, most of which are shattered and destroyed from the war between heaven and earth. The great gates lie asunder. Most of the city has long been deserted. There's a refugee caravanserai that has waited to get out. Some who still have family trapped within the tower or within the ruins of Babel here below. And the dusty streets are just basically haven for gangs and for wild dogs that feed upon the scraps of the dead. But it seems that the mighty warlord Dernani's forces have seen something of value here within the city. And you see upon their mounts coming in a great storm of dust, riding unstopped and unfettered between the once mighty walls of the city into the center, ravaging what they can, what wealth has been accumulated by the leaders of the gangs, thrown out into the streets. And the throne seekers, where they have gathered here, making their hasty retreat from the tower, are met by this army before them of hundreds of fearsome warriors. And you, others, new folk here, perhaps who have come seeking the glories of the tower, seeking information, maybe even convening in the one last tavern that still stood within this city as sudden chaos breaks out in Shaduri's well, and everyone seeing the approach of the warlord and knowing of Dernani's horrible reputation seeks shelter, but there is nowhere to run as his forces encroach the city. Those of you coming out of the tower, met by awing numbers. One of you had already come out earlier and was swiftly taken recaptive again. The thief Gishan, now on his third run of having been taken by his former masters here. As the rest of you being discovered heavily armed, I'm in possession, some of you, of Babel stones of great power, and some with treasures from within the tower itself, are swiftly brought before the one who seems to be the leader of this company. Greeting you, coming down from his high mount, slaves scraping around him and preparing the way as you were all jostled forward at dozens upon dozens of spear points before this figure, who stands tall even as he walks with a hunched gait and broad though narrow, broad shoulders though narrow arms and limbs, and with this kind of shuffling movement. And as he turns. And wearing brass armor, dusty from the road, you see a copper-scaled serpent coiling up his arm, and he's caressing the creature as he turns, and and regards all of you here.
Wave at my friends that I recognize.
As you have been like disrobed and bound again, and are pushed from the back of one of the beasts onto the dust of the streets before here.
Great thing.
One of the scribes, one among the slaves at the side of this commander, they're conversing with one another in a tongue recognized by none of you. And the scribe pulls forth a tablet with cuneiform and sacred symbols etched upon it, and shatters it upon the stone before you. There's a ringing in the air, and suddenly the myriad tongues, all the babble, becomes clear to each of you.
+1's fine, but
And the leader speaks, still caressing the serpent on his arm.
am I hearing?
I am called Utan, the Serpent Tamer. By Dunani's blessing, I command 300 of the great warlord's most fearsome warriors.
We roll it when you need it, but it's okay.
That is, I commanded 300. Alas, that number has been diminished somewhat in recent days.
You appear.
For sins yet unknown to me, I have been tasked with the bringing of a great prize from this tower, this falling of the cursed king. Not wishing to waste any more of my men on this enterprise, I believe I shall employ you in this endeavor. You are what they call throne seekers, are you not? Those carrion crawlers who scavenge the bones of Nimrod's fallen empire, seeking gold and glory and dreams beyond your station. You know the tower well, some of you, I take it, having been recently captured in this endeavor. Well, you know it as well as any mortals can know it, I suppose.
He's like 6.
I am afraid for all of you there is no time to waste. Only 3 days remain before Donani himself shall arrive at the gates of this blasted city, eager to claim his prize. He begins pulling at his graying beard at this. You shall find what he seeks by that time, and be richly rewarded for your endeavors, or you shall die most miserably and slowly, as befits all of those who fail Donani. A simple proposition, no, and despite the confusion of our tongues, I am sure you all understand me well.
Yes, we understand you, great tamer of serpents.
Then go. The warlord's artificer Kutaloon awaits you at the fort of the tower. She will inform you of that which you must attain. I must see to other affairs. Be gone.
Can I have my knives back?
Be outfitted with such tools as are required. Speak no more to me, slave.
I'm a tall, skinny human wearing a long black
Turning
robe
and departing.
with an M monogrammed in there. I look suspiciously
You
like
are ushered with no great ceremony back towards the foot of the stairs, where you can, where you see this woman in rather strange outland robes and a large like cornicen that goes well above her head. As she is carrying a number of tablets in hand, and the scribe is following behind, hastily etching and scrawling notes on the fresh clay of another behind her, and seeing you. She's pacing back and forth and shoves what she is carrying into the hand of the scribe as she is talking quite rapidly, and she turns and sees you coming, seems distracted and suddenly, a little bit perturbed by your presence. And over her eyes, she has these bizarre brass contraptions ringing them with what looks like precious stones at the center, like over her eyes, and the hot sunlight of the mid-morning dazzling brightly from the gems in those places. Yes, you will do, I suppose. Mrs. Though you are a rather motley and
up in the floor.
unruly sort from the
It's
look
like
of you.
a-
I suppose it can
It's not a
be
real
helped.
life, but it does work.
As Utan has refused to send me the best
Then
of his lot
from
of late, and
Flog sort of
granted they have not
pours
been
up
performing up
from
to
this- from
the
this
capacity
premise.
expected
By the
of
way,
his
I think
forces.
they- oh, that one again.
Yes, I believe by last tally, 23 of those number already expended on these efforts, but yes, I'm sure throwing more at the problem will
This
solve
sort
it in
of
due course. So we do have a great deal more
entity,
information than on the first
fragile
attempt.
looking
Yes. Here is a
creature,
crude
just sort of
description,
levitates
depiction,
slowly
and she shows you
with
this
that,
one of
like,
on the
like
tablets.
20
There is this
It's like
there is this symbolic drawing of this long rod, as she describes it. A metallic rod, about 2 cubits long, perhaps 2 cubits and a span by the best descriptions that we have been able to find, composed of some strange metal other than bronze. Most interesting. I am quite eager to learn the nature of this by the artificers of Nimrod's court. As I'm sure you know, he assembled a great many magi from all corners of the earth, and performing great magics and feats of wonder within his court.
But there are windows
I am
that are
most interested to
like
find
stained
the
glass.
notations thereof. However, the rod takes all importance on this endeavor. If my calculations...
There's one guy. No.
Yes.
Not once he gets.
And if my calculations are correct, and they usually are, you will find the rod on the 10th floor of the tower, likely someplace warm, for reasons that will become evident with time. You must find stairs, I assume, or some other means of conveyance for making it to such levels of the tower. And, yes, any questions that you might have of me? Logistics, organizational elements? There's not much time to spare, only 3 days.
Have a description of the color of the metal or
First
not?
of all, I looked at 2 daggers, I'm like, ugh.
Some have said
that's not good. I
a
shoot
sort
them
of
to say,
graying
They call me
aspect to it,
Mr.
like the hairs of the elderly. Not the sheen of precious silver or anything. Some say perhaps a star metal of some sort. There are many theories about this origin that was of great value to Nimrod's court.
I believe we saw a warrior a few years back who came down from the tower bearing weapons that matched that description.
Interesting. Do you know of his location or hers?
He left many years
Only say a
ago.
few words. before you kick it.
Well, that is of no use to us now, isn't it? I don't suppose you have any notes, seeing as you are of some learning at the very least.
Any notes on it?
Yes. Or on this figure. No
He
matter.
bore a curse of cannibalism.
Anyways,
Common
so I
ailment
knew
of these
about
days, is
Yes,
it not?
yeah.
Yes, most degenerate and desperate times as these are. Worry not, you will be well fed upon your return, and we can spare
As you can see,
Could I be freed? Maybe get
Oh,
my
well,
knives
it's
back?
a character from like
Yes,
three
yes,
years
of course. Yeah, and sends one of her slaves over to do the cutting on there. Yes. Any other matters that must be attended to?
This slave is very competent with his knives.
Really cool knives that
Unless
can
you
hurt
put a
angels, because we're
stop.
gonna probably have to fight
Angels?
angels.
Interesting, indeed. These were taken from you in your recapture, and
Yes.
you stole them, of course.
No,
it's pretty bad, right?
Starts crying because he can't say anything more.
No, they sound of great value. I would not wish them to be risked in this endeavor. No, I believe I will study them further.
What, you say it's in a warm
Oh, this is my old
place,
school.
Yes.
but we live in the
The new
desert.
world's my old
What does it
school?
mean to have, like, warmer than usual?
The
Or just,
blue-
like,
like
warmer
a
than
lava
this area?
That's what you call it.
The blasting warmth of a great
Mr.
bonfire.
Magic just looks at us, darn.
Oh, this tower also doesn't abide by normal temperature rules. It's weird. Some rooms are cold, some are hot. It's just weird, non-linear rooms. It's a hellscape to navigate. It's a horrible mega
Sounds
dungeon.
like a great plan. Alright, do we need to kill this weird skinny guy?
How are we doing on acolytes? I see you have some slaves here that are very good with their knives. I saw you free them with great prowess. Can we hire some of your slaves to come with us in the tower to help retrieve some of these things?
Yes, chattel.
No, none of mine in particular. They're our most trained.
Do you have like
Well, we're gonna need to
Fantastic,
hire
my
some more
you have like a
guys.
bunch of like just junk people, undesirables.
No. We need some skilled artisans.
Bad boys off.
There were perhaps some of the other throne seekers that were taken that were deemed designatable to other interests of Utan, but I suppose I could convince him to spare a few.
Yes.
How many can you spare for
I need
us extra?
What was the one? What's the one who's speaking? What is her name?
Her name is Kutulun, the artificer.
Is it meal?
He starts
Still running around.
Oh, I'm forgetting. You actually.
Do you guys have followers? How many followers do you have?
Anybody?
You already hired guys? You already got guys? All right, we're going to want all the followers we can get.
Your starting followers and max followers equals your will plus 1.
Actually,
I can have one.
You can only have one.
if it says silver, it
Yeah,
My will is now negative.
One loyal follower, anyway. One who will.
you actually do things
So
for
my
you.
will is +3?
Yeah, that means you get 4 followers.
Up to 4 followers.
We're going to hire a bunch more guys.
Oh, can I be cured of the curse I have? He's not talking about the one that's for betrayal. He's talking about the one that's the negative spell stats.
You seem to have mistaken me for a priestess of some kind.
No, you just said if we had any questions.
There is a small shrine, it seems, to one of the fallen ones, to Inanna, that has been established within the city. It is, I fear its days are numbered, as Inanna will tolerate no such practices upon his arrival, but you may catch them before their departure.
I am a priest of Inanna, so I can take you.
Please.
Alright, company overheading. As you greet the single priest and 2 acolytes that are maintaining this sad and desecrated shrine that they have been slowly restoring over the past few months. The roof largely caved in, beams of sun coming in, some shriveled desert vines and succulents overgrowing the edges. Do you wish to make an offering for
As someone who now just has the starter pack, just hands everything over, is like, can I be cured of my curse?
anybody helping out with the
Yeah,
gold?
so I have a divine symbol of Inanna, and I am a priest of Inanna. So I will.
Oh, right. Yes. Brother, we have awaited your return for some time.
Yes, thank you. I brought you this, and I hand them bars of incense to strap to their foreheads.
Yes. We shall continue the most sacred ministrations with
It's
these.
important that we
The dances can continue.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Fertility, violence, and war. That's what we're all about here. But look at this poor man. He's been cursed. His curse is beyond my powers.
Most terribly. Most terribly indeed. It will take a great offering to the goddess to allay such a thing as to set you here.
And I assume a blood offering would be most effective.
Oh, certainly. Of anonymous enemies, if you were to bathe in their bloody evil, that would be one thing. But if you have brought great quantities of gold as well, it could be useful. Before you had brought the feathers of those heavenly beings, those angelic creatures that had proven to be of great, cherished worth to Inanna. Have you any more? And presents.
If I had one, could I get the
I
curse
think I gave
removed?
mine all away.
We can attempt the rite with this offering.
Give me. Just thinking about going into the camp and trying to find one to
steal
it back.
out of your.
The lapis lazuli.
That's how bad would that turn out if I got caught?
They're pretty ruthless. You can give it a shot. I mean, we're right at the
Did we
start here.
send
You
him out
could
of the
always.
city, or do we still have to go?
City and we do
Do you want to attempt it? Make a finesse roll, sneak across the.
Do I know where they are and how well guarded are they?
You could try it. You could look around, try to scout, figure out where your belongings were taken. It could raise some suspicion if you want to be asking around.
No, let's just
yeah,
look
okay.
around.
Just
We'll do a quick look.
Sneak into. Okay.
I'm voting we
base.
stash the lapis.
To be
in the
completely
temple.
unnoticed here, we're talking a 16 because you're moving throughout.
Is this finesse?
No,
Yes.
it is.
Then I'm good. I'm at
Not until you
18.
actually-
All right, you're able to locate. They have there is a huge pile guarded by presently 9 of among Utan's most trusted warriors. As more and more are bringing the wealth and loot that they've gotten from other throne seekers throughout the city, there are several of them who are sorting through it at this point and starting to put the gold in one pile and cups and fine implements and weapons in another, and it looks.
9 is bad.
Yeah.
I need how much gold for this? Like 100, right?
At least 100.
Yeah. Well, that's not happening. I return to the group looking dejected.
Also, quick rules reminder. At the start of the combat, you need to make a DC 13 will roll to keep your followers from panicking.
If the ones who are not
they're
combatants,
untrained,
yep,
yeah.
untrained.
Well, most of all of ours are.
If they're not like trained mercenaries, which some of the party did want to hire here, it seemed, and that was what you had asked Kudaloon about the ones that were available. Unfortunately, there was only one seasoned warrior among the other throne seekers who's available. There are two priests. Currently, who are
acolytes
for reasons of their own.
Well,
I've got
Is there an equipment page one?
What does an apprentice do?
No, he opened it.
Able to carry things for you. They're also literate, like you're teaching them in the art of writing. Whatever small tasks you set them to, holding things is often a big one.
Would be
opening doors
at
and
But you have to
Time
make
was
saves to
unrepresented.
keep them from like running away.
when combat breaks out. If you want them to fight or to join in too, especially.
What if you don't want them to join in? Do you have to still roll? Or
You can have them hide. It depends. It depends how. Like if they see you die, things start getting hairy.
He has a journal with him.
It really just depends on the circumstances. And there are four other itinerant scribes who are apparently looking to make an entry into the tower. If anybody's interested in hiring them for a cost of gold.
I would like to hire the two priests.
Okay, so you're adding them to your acolyte roll here.
I would like to hire a scribe.
Equipment page
I don't know
125,
that I
I
have any
think.
gold.
Unfortunately, that's
They will demand 10 up front if you don't have any in your. Oh, okay. Yeah. Did you roll for starting gold at all? Oh, okay. Yeah. So you just took
Okay,
a.
appendix P, we have weapons and arms.
Okay, so that's in place of gold. It's already spent on all those implements in that case. Yeah. Unless somebody wants to front you.
I got 6 of them. Jeff, what do you got?
Scribes don't hold gold.
You're playing a different character, so you have no gold.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You want to
Nothing
give?
I want to hire one scribe, but I want to pay him the same amount that I already have my gold, which is 1 gold a week, and not 10 up front.
Oh, okay. Which is an
I don't have any
unskilled
gold.
rate. Okay, so
I didn't get any gold.
Go ahead and what are you trying to do to convince the scribe? What do you say to work for these pathetic wages?
I'm just. I'm a thief, so I'm like presenting myself as like this great warrior, which I'm not. But I just want them to know, like, you would do well if you stand by me, Vandily. You will hear my name echoed through all the lands if you stay with me, Vandily.
But I've never even heard your name before.
That's because it has not been reached out to hear yet, but it will, and you are going to regret that you haven't stand by my side.
But the great dangers that await within the tower for a mere gold a week?
Yes! Where is your adventure? Where is your risk of taking that makes you sit in that desperation, and then it makes you strong when you find out that you can survive anything!
I'm just trying to buy a donkey!
Do you want to go ahead and... Do you want to roll a test of will for me here?
Life goal, donkey.
See if you can get 13 or better in this case.
So you have your old broken.
How close are you? 4?
Yeah.
I'm going to need something up front for this.
But that's for the guidebook.
Okay.
Well, that's just to get
8,
you know
perhaps?
what tunes are.
You have 8
They
gold?
only come when it
4.
change.
5.
Make it come at a
4.5.
4.5. Right.
Are they
But just for the day.
Yeah, it's only a partial.
All right.
Yeah.
And he's actually round
Thank
one.
you.
Oh, but can I?
You will not regret this.
Yeah, well, you can sound them.
The name is Shunabi of the scribe, the former apprentice scribe known as. Did you manage to pull together enough gold over?
Yeah, but I'd like to try. I'd like to try harder a little.
Okay. So same tactics.
No, he's not nearly as eloquent, so he'll say,
So the book makes us
join me and learn.
It will
Stay
listen-
behind
It's
and
like
die.
D flat or something. Whatever
Convincing
is making
argument, though I am seeking the great learning I have heard of within the tower. How much can you offer to obey you in these services?
Sounds you have.
Knowledge,
Sure.
skill,
I don't know if these forks are
survival.
Am I to each knowledge, skill, and survival?
I mean,
The regular goody work.
the regular
Teach a man
they're
to
next-
fish. He
They're
lives
not
for
eating
it.
themselves, man.
So they're a component in it.
I'm behind her.
Teach a man to fish, he lives for his life.
This is most interesting wisdom indeed. Perhaps there is much to learn. Roll me. He's actually taken with the saying, so roll me with advantage. Test of will here.
Is this
Just trying to convince. D20. Yep, all the tests are on the D20 in this one.
and what am I looking for?
13 in this case. That's the default.
You have +3.
15.
All right. Itazu will come along.
This one here is Arcadia.
How much is he?
Oh,
How much is
we
he?
just got him for free.
He to go on the team.
Money to hire to fight.
He will now. To be clear, the mercenaries expect a half share of loot
that's fine. I'm
than
not after
anything
wealth.
that's found in, and wealth gives you great power and experience. Can be offered at temples for all sorts of blessings, including
Money is the
leveling.
best superpower.
Yeah, it is also advancing your literal
plain.
level through offerings to gods.
Great.
Which is called what?
Is that what you were going to say, Cody?
Oh, what I was gonna say is, so half share is half of a proportional percentage to the number of people, correct?
Yes, exactly. So they would get half of what a player
The asterisk
character's
means
experience
he brings
and
you
gold,
somewhere else on
output
the
would be from. Yes, if they.
Yes, I was just checking to make sure we were giving this guy half our total gold.
Oh no, not half the.
Yeah.
And you said I just get the reset of that. Does,
Yes.
beer horn and wine stand equate, right?
Yes, exactly.
Because it really has beer horn here.
I mean, different gods prefer one offering, and that sometimes that different narrative purposes of the other.
Sean believes in whichever one is in front of him.
As you're all gathering and preparing your things and making these deals, a deafening cry somewhere between the screech of a mighty eagle and a lion's roar rings across the sky. And there's a more and somebody nearby shouts, "Look out!" And Kudaloon, looking up with those jeweled apparatus overhead, looks up and then steps to the side behind one of the pillars as people are like ducking for cover all over the place.
I run towards it.
In front of you,
These are also what you
hurling down as you run forward. Something plummets out of the sky. A human screaming at the top of his lungs. Plummets, and you ran forward to look up right underneath here. Give me a test of finesse to throw yourself out of the way at this point.
Oh no, I want to get towards it.
Okay, well you want to be right underneath.
I want to be the first guy looting that body.
Okay, try
Body alive.
16.
16. So you definitely step right where he's about to smash.
Is their body people alive? Or it seems like when it's falling and screaming?
It's falling and screaming, slams
How does
into
magic
the.
work? Because I have 4
Oh,
times
okay.
summon, so I can summon like a feather fall for it.
You could, however, you need to react very quickly. Give me a test of finesse, a DC 16, to be able to move before this plummeting man hits the ground here. Okay, so you start trying to use it.
So instead of a shield to get no blood on me.
Do you want to cast that?
Yeah, that's
okay.
okay.
Just holding up the tablet. To
I stand behind a fighter so they think it's fun.
All right. As there's anybody else trying to grab.
I'm the first one looting that body.
Okay. Horrible, sickening crunch and crack of skull before you. A body bursting like a balloon and spray before you hear shocked reaction even from the hardened warriors of the horde. Oh, like gasping back up at the terrible sight. And Kudaloon comes forward from behind the pillar and says, Interesting. And looking up, and there is another of those screeching roars from above, and anyone who looks up sees a great winged shadow blotting out the sun for a brief moment before the dark shape swoops in towards the tower on one of the higher to mid levels of it, and the great shape lands, it seems, on the edge of one of these massive open window porticos there, and you can hear scraping of stone even from this great distance of height, and bits and pieces of rubble falling down as whatever the beast is works its way in through that opening. Kudaloon staring up into all of you. Well, yeah, that may pose a complication. Best of luck.
Well, time to get to the tower.
I'm going to tell my follower, hey, go pick up anything valuable.
Wait, can we still get that?
Your follower goes scurrying up. You've already been beaten to it by Gashan.
As the follower goes up, I'll just look at him.
I shake my new follower Shauna B's shoulder, and I'm like, see what I'm talking about? Let's go!
Time to climb the tower.
Any gold on the spot?
Wait, what's that blessing we can get? There's a blessing we can get from the local priest.
He came from up high. He's got a lot of stuff, right?
Oh, you wanted to do that at the
Yeah. Let's get that shrine.
There's a blessing?
Yeah. Priest gave you a blessing for 25 gold for the party that lets us get one free reroll. That's really important to get if we're going into the tower.
Okay, did you buy one?
You're the wizard.
Yeah, I'm definitely paying for the blessing while we're trying to get your curse lifted. Sounds like you need to bathe in blood or show up with 100 gold.
Well, I need to find the enemies.
Yeah.
98 gold scattered about from.
It's in a bag. I run back.
Wearing fine. Well, it's completely destroyed now. It was fine panoply armor, and a now cracked and shattered shield, a broken bow. The axe is still intact. The spear is snapped. The short sword is bent over. Okay, you're taking all
The blacksmith will give me money for parts, right?
Possibly.
You can be forged into. You can be turned into slag.
You Mark Silverman. Where's Mr. Magic? Where on earth is this?
I'm trying to encourage you. There's blood here, just roll in it.
Yeah. I don't think he's an enemy of the... Can you tell? Quick check.
You pick up a gleaming glass sphere that, as you turn around, has this beautiful stone formation that looks uncannily like an eye and like an iris within the center of it. As you stare, you start as you pick it up, catching the sun there. Kudaloon, I would like to examine.
I would like my knives back. And I have a job and a mission that requires possibly killing angels and that thing, which will be immune to normal knives.
Forgive me, you seem to be under the delusion that you're in the position to make demands.
It's
not a demand, a request for adequate resources.
12 hours ahead.
You are most persistent in this matter. Very well, I shall loan you the use of the knives on this basis. One.
Yeah, that's fine. That's great.
And takes the glass sphere. Fascinating. This is not natural at all. Oh, incredible workmanship. Yes. There is Milan in this, I believe. Well done. More of this.
Woo!
I come right next to and look at it too, wow. She's looking at it. Yeah. She's like, oh yeah, it's really, really, really cool. In her space a little bit.
She seems very uncomfortable with this. And immediately,
sorry.
Quite fastidious and
I have a dagger that we can use to fight.
Instead of using the standard tactic of summoning Pazuzu and running away.
Yes.
You were wanting to make a sacrifice on behalf of
25 gold piece sacrifice.
Okay, so the rite is performed. The gold is given to the priest. A great hymn is sung, and incense is burned, and each of you are splattered with some of the wine upon each of your forehead. Anyone who is willing to accept the blessing of Inanna from the priest of the shrine, get this blessing of fortune, which is you have a D20 you can set aside that you can substitute for any roll at any time. yours or someone else's, I believe, on this one. Was that established? Yeah. I didn't
But it's one set aside each.
Yes.
Do we pre-record the D20 roller now?
What's that?
Do we pre-record the D20 roller now?
You roll it when it happens.
I'm also going to cast Auguries and pre-record 2 rolls.
The starter has 15 gold, and with the 98, that should be enough to get the curse break.
Okay, yes. So the gold is offered, the rite is performed. You are stripped of what little clothing you had on and ushered into the space of the shrine there as they start the sacred anointing of oil and the bathing of the ritual and coming around and they're slapping you with the burning grass, the smoke filling the spaces. They call out curses upon the dark spirit, the malingering presence that has touched you and about an hour later after all this you're brought out smelling a lot smokier and headier, but you can feel this renewed vigor in your limbs and in your spirit as the curse is lifted.
Now I take all the other equipment. I ask for a blacksmith. I know from the book that there is one.
Or
was one.
I think we'll do that when we get back. I can fly. I'll leave the stuff here.
Well, I'm going to trade off for money
and you float up like behind me.
You find when you head to Yoktan's forge, he is the sole smith remaining in the city, bronzesmith. He is currently at spear point and ropes heavily tied around his neck as
walk away scenario.
As one of
maybe it'll finish up good. Maybe
as one of Utan's lieutenants is screaming in his face and making demands something, and Yoktan with his hair slick with like nearly white hair slick with sweat over his face, one of his eyes and one of his arms missing, is just staring downward with his one remaining eye, refusing to acknowledge the red-faced warrior screaming in his face, pacing back and forth, and then occasionally smashing a brutal blow with his spear into Yoktan, the smith's side, and calling out, and Yoktan is just not acknowledging any of this, and the punishment seems to be getting more severe here. He's in a bad place as he comes. It doesn't seem like he's operating the forge right now.
Maybe offer that guy some gold to see how getting to leave.
I don't know what they're saying.
That's why we just give him some gold and we float away.
I mean, he's also a lieutenant of the force, right?
Sorry?
He's a lieutenant of the force, right?
He works for, in whatever loose structure.
Maybe it's head time. Head into the tower. Head into the tower time sound good?
I'll stick around for a little bit to see if I can figure out exactly what's going on, but it's pretty much tower time.
Okay, so not speaking the language, if you want to, you're sticking around, observing for a bit, roll me a test of wit to see if you can intuit.
11 total.
You need a 13 on this one. No. Yeah, you're not really sure what's being demanded, only that the beatings are getting worse, and Yoktan is not saying a word or relenting to whatever it seems they're demanding. I have no idea. Any other final business before we head into...
Can I fix up a couple of the Babel stones to fix something I want? Don't throw besides force, because I'm using force in summon.
You could approach some of the scribes in Utan's employ, or whether willful employment or not, and see if you could trade for any of them.
I don't want to worry about the time for that, so I'll just keep what I got.
Well, I mean, you can find out really quickly.
Does he have that card that lets him turn 2 stones into another stone of his choice?
What's that?
There's a card that lets you turn 2 Babel stones into another stone of your choice.
Oh, right, yeah. If you have there's a feat. I don't know. Did you take that?
I did pre-made characters.
Okay, yeah. So it doesn't have that one in that case. Yeah. But I can tell you. Let's see what they have available. If you want.
For the offering thing.
I like to summon the beast. I didn't know if silence is something I really wanted.
You wanted to get rid of that one. So. The scribes would be willing to trade.
It would have been funny if the guy was falling and screaming and I stopped the silence. So for silence, I don't have to listen to it.
Yeah. They have, and would be willing to trade, seeming interested in the silence tab. reflect,
You'll tell me that once I come
wind,
back from getting more water.
or wind, depending on how you read the term out there,
That might not be the way you
and
want to go
stay.
with it, but so talking amongst yourselves.
I kind of like wind wine because I got 2 words for one.
Okay, yeah, so you want to trade silence for wind, wine.
Gyroscopic force.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to intervene with Yoktan. I don't speak the language, but I do come up and start saying like, please, please, and then I just offer up to the guy the axe and my remaining 13 gold, and like put like a hand of like, please, like don't.
Looks at you.
Very
like, slavishly,
not like not like I'm making a deal, but like please don't.
Taking the gold and looking fondly upon you, and the axe. Setkunan.
You could wait. Did you have a flaming helmet?
And then just sort of like gestures for you to go away.
He like gets in front of Yoktan. Like,
Okay. So
he's offering it in like in between like please.
Holding up your
Like just please and like offering the stuff, please take.
and then like gesturing to the others, and they speak back and forth, and 2 of the other big ones just grab you by the arms and start dragging you out of the way.
Well, that's all I can do.
Okay. All right.
The only other option is to give up an item which will get me in too much trouble.
Fair enough.
Yeah, force would also be flash.
I run to Siri.
What's that?
Siri?
Shidori?
Yeah.
At the tavern?
I killed her.
You go to the tavern, and it is just being looted and raided, and all her beer is being broken into by Narni's word, and there is no sign of sorry, Shiduri's Well is the name of the tavern. Shiduri is a legendary figure from the Epic of Gilgamesh, but Miraz is the one who runs Shiduri's Well. She is not here presently. You don't see any sign of her.
Do I see anyone who is like a normal, a regular?
No, they were the other.
I look around for regulars, and other than that, I'll leave.
They're all gone. It's all.
All right, let's go. This is all
Power time.
Though you know they've taken several prisoners from throughout the city, including some of the hirelings that you got there. As you all head up the great steps of the massive Temple Ziggurat, once dedicated to Inanna, which forms the base of the Tower to Heaven, making your way up past Kudalud and her artificers, where she sort of like set up her encampment here, examining it, and they are working on some series of calculations on their tablets. You go up the steps, already remarkably steep, making your way, and now the high noon sun, to the great stone doors and the archway upon which are defaced and destroyed once divine figures all worked over the arch, and the strongest among you pressing against the 2 great stone double doors of the tower, as all of you who step through this threshold feel a force, an invisible power that seems to cascade down the very stones of the tower from heaven itself, and to crash into you, body, mind, and spirit. The force staggers you to your knees, and it burns and sings within your flesh and within your soul, as all of you roll me
The one thing we know about
a D20 for a divine transformation. For many of you, this is your first touch of the divine here.
Oh, can we choose to fail?
Yes,
I'll choose to fail.
you accept it in that case. And Nick, 14. Start with you on 14. As you stagger and try to get your footing, and your hand goes against the wall beside you, your fingers leave a glowing trail etched upon the surface of the stone, and it seems to linger when you take them back, and your fingers look to you as ordinary as ever, but when you press your hand against the stone, it leaves these markings that just ever so faintly glow upon the surface.
If I like make those markings,
They remain.
and they make new markings.
Yes, upon the stone here. Joe, what did we get?
You drain blood in this thing.
13.
15 for
Sure
Umanan.
enough, you're now 13 level.
Because and now, ordinarily in a campaign, you would have to discover what a lot of these do, especially with a smaller group, through like experimentation action. For the purpose of con one-shot type settings here, I'm just going to tell you what some of these more esoteric ones do. You can hear the presence of nearby curses as a dissonant thrumming. Essentially able, like this resonance in the air from the presence of a curse somewhere close by. So keep that in mind when we enter rooms, when you come spaces. I'm not going to remember everybody's divine transformation, so just remind me, like, hey, do I hear anything, any dissonant thrummings in here?
Like him screaming at you at all times with his curse.
Yeah, I have another curse that I didn't get rid of because to get rid of it would be to make the curse kill me.
Oh, so you do? Oh, okay, yeah. So so actually that immediately from Gishan over here. It's like this thrumming in the air around Gishan, like a really annoying buzzing sound.
I'm a great friend.
Jeff.
I got 18.
18. You stumble through the stone door, and when I say through it, your hands pressing into the surface begin to your horror to pass through the stone as though it were sand, or like the texture of sand around your hand, and jerking back. I'm trying again. It seems your bare flesh is able to penetrate any stone surface.
Did you say 18 or 17?
That was 18. And yeah, if you hear your number being called out on these, it'd be the same transformation. So Ike, Billah, the warrior here.
A 2.
Okay, so you already know you got to look there. Go ahead and roll me a d20 again for location here. As an eye grows in the small of your back, and you feel the flesh writhing, and the sudden addition of sight behind you there, blinking. I don't know if your warrior is like bare chested and has like just the small plate up front there, but you suddenly
chest plate, yeah.
Okay, so you have vision behind you now coming in as the flesh parts.
Hey, that's good. It lets you see what's chasing you.
That's right. Surface there.
That's very powerful.
Handy there, and then Tandali. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
For Z here. What was your roll result?
1.
Okay. So I need another d20 roll on this one. Real quick.
Such a drop in the
3. Your hair, like where it runs off your scalp, immediately begins hardening and beginning to clack as it falls in not braids or freely, however your hair was styled before, but in scales coming off your head now, like plated reptilian scales.
18, so I can do the same
Love it.
Okay.
10, I can smell poisons.
Yes, okay. So any poisons dangerous to humans, you are able to smell. And then we're 11, almost first circle. Oh, roll me d20 twice. Again, on that one.
I just 12 and 2.
12 and 2. You sprouting out from behind you, again, like similar to the eye, flesh twisting, a lion's tail.
I have one of those.
You already have one, so a second lion's tail comes out there. And sorry, what was 2 was the other one?
Yeah, 12 and 2.
On that one, as your eyes appear as gleaming silver.
There are
all of them, the whites and all, just like silvery orb-like surfaces there, as now accounted for here.
awesome. He also has claws. So he's claws and 2 lion tails and now silver eyes.
No, you're
He's getting killed next time he's in public.
The tower has changed since some of you last entered, and marvel of marvels before you in this huge open chamber that rises up almost as far as your eye can see. Great marble steps mount in ascending rows to high landings far above you. And you can see upon the steps that go, it seems, many floors above you. And if you step up under, like towards the center here, because they run along the wall, it's sort of not spiral, but I'm blanking on the word for like a cubic spiral where it meets at a landing at each corner and continues up. you can see scattered, gleaming white objects at intervals upon the surfaces of the steps.
And then
Yes,
one of her
they are the
actually
iridescent
one of her
feathers
tails
that some of you have come to believe are the feathers of angels that, when taken in the light, glow with this at just the right angle, with a resplendent like rainbow opalescence in the direct sunlight, and almost appear to have the shape of an eye upon the tips of each of them, scattered about the stairs above you. On this level, down here, as you look about, some great calamity has taken this place, because here on the floor before the stairs, chasmic, jagged cracks split the surface of the stone, and you look over into deep and plunging abyssal pits in the cracks all across this chamber, and running up the masonry here, many of the steps have crumbled and are falling in. There are like chunks and stretches of the stairs where only like small bits of the flight remain. It seems like some great earthquake has shaken and half destroyed this place around you. So, dozens of them going all up the stairs. You can see them. So,
like floating or
like lying on the steps.
I'll just go pick them up.
Those are very valuable.
Throw them in a sack for you
They
guys.
look quite, and they are quite valuable. Some of the other party
Outsiders.
members
I would like
They say
to.
so.
start.
I'm sure there's something that they just don't trade for them.
Yeah, so there's these three jagged cracks cutting across the chamber here and opening to abyss below. Even reaching the stairs, the bottom of the stairs is going to require getting across these. And on this level, on the far side, you can see to the north, there is a door, and to the west as well, on this first floor 0 of the tower here. Who wishes to take...
Can't we call it floor 1?
We cannot. The rest of the world does the ground floor and then floor 1, and it turns out mathematically that's also very advantageous for doing dungeon design.
We have to get to the 10th, and it would save us some time, I think.
If we skipped one floor.
jump down there.
Well, you are at a grand stairway.
How high does the stairway go, Edwin?
How many floors?
Right here.
How hard is the jump?
You're like,
You
yeah,
can see
I
it looks like it goes up about 5 levels up above to the high landing.
In fact, there's now several
quite
floors
high.
down.
How
About
does the jump look?
250 feet above. Oh, over the abyss, the cracks of it below. It looks like at the narrowest point,
they're underneath the
about 15 feet.
And we got to do that in order to get up
In
the
order
stairs.
to get across to the stairs, though you could get to the west door out of this chamber, and there is kind of like a winding path of stone that hasn't fallen in that leads to the north door. That's kind of a circuitous route. Who would like to map for the party today? I'm good either. You want to take over?
Yeah.
All right. So,
How hard would 50 feet of rope and a hook be on making that 15 feet and getting us all across?
if there were something to hook it onto, it would not be bad at all overall.
There was a lot of rubble and...
Oh yeah, rubble and stone. Yeah, so you could try to grab on.
Alright, I'm gonna pull out some rope and a hook and just start trying that. So, well, I guess here's the question is, will we have to make a check if we've set up an appropriate rope?
30 feet before he.
Not if you get it like safe and secure. I will just check to see.
So I'm gonna start playing. I got 50 feet. I got plenty of draw. I can do this a couple times to try to get this done. Take my time on it.
Okay.
Yeah, they got dropped in.
Give myself some nice lead up. Swing.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe in actuality they didn't.
So one sec while we're getting
Stone inventory.
oh, stone inventory.
They threw the stones
I
behind.
have matter reflected left.
So
I've got
some bodies.
main force.
Do I need to make a roll for it?
So you're just taking time, like to get it across, like spending a time getting it across.
Yeah, I'll spend a time.
Yeah, because this is not a particularly difficult task at this point. So our thief Gashan has managed, after a 10-minute turn here, while others are looking around and attending to their stones, to get rope on a weight slung across and wedged on stones on the other side of one of the narrowest point of the cracked abyss here, and has secured on this side a good length of rope that seems to be pretty stable to get to.
I test it.
You test it and go across.
I'll give it some good heat, or about whoever our biggest is, because I'm not the biggest, but I can put on force to kind of pretend I'm the biggest.
That's probably Bilal, right? Is like our biggest, toughest character.
What are we looking for?
What's your force?
Big, heavy, and all that.
+3.
Yeah, you might. If anybody have more than 3 force at all, I think you're probably our heaviest. Yeah. So if you want to go across first.
Oh God, no! I'm not telling him to go first. I'm just. I'm fishing as I'm like, okay, he's about that big, so if I do this, and it's like, does it snap immediately?
Yeah, it seems stable.
Okay, cool. So it seems stable. I will see oh guys, it's not so bad. Watch this. And I'm a thief, so of course I just
So, did you have something?
Well, I was just going to say, I'll pull see if it's...
I did my best.
Yeah, it does, with applying your force to it.
If needed, I'll grab another rope and 50 feet. I'm sure we have a couple of them, and we can really...
Okay, and start making your... do you want to be the first to cross?
I mean, I pretty much trust in it, and I'm the one who can dive inside the stonework and slide.
Okay, so you make it over across the pit, toward close to the base of the stairs. And as a general matter, I'm going to assume in a given turn, if I don't hear what particular people are doing, that you're standing watch and keeping guard over the rest of the party. If I don't hear a call out.
I'm going to go follow the other thief.
As standard, I immediately dive into shadows, and I keep an overwatch so that if anyone tries to jump Z's character, Thanley, he'll come in and start wrestling with it.
On the other side. Okay, so you're at the ready over there.
Can I just use one stone?
And then once you're over, and we've made sure it's definitely secure, we'll pick up all the feathers for everybody, and that way.
As you start going up the steps here, as you are doing so, you start to hear something heavy, sagging and grinding and scraping, and somewhere far above.
Getting the theater of the mind.
There is the sound of collapsing stone, and on one of the levels up above you, there is like a sudden rush of dust that comes pouring out. Rubble comes falling over the edge. It sounds as though something large has collapsed up on one of the levels above you. And the ground's not shaking, it seems to be sturdy for the moment, but things are continuing to collapse in here. It seems like.
I'm leaving the rope here because I can't untie and bring it. So I just point up and I'm just going to go.
And for those who missed it, we now have a secured and weight-tested rope that the thief put across the chasm to the base of the stairs here.
Because we need to get to town.
And then I had some raised hands from
me and the fellow scribes have decided to use my inscribe ability to turn a summon and a reflect malum stone into a time stone.
Into a time? Okay.
Because we have 2 summons, and I felt like...
And you broke your time stone last time?
I'm gonna with a different character,
Do you want to pick up the feathers?
Yeah, so this is like...
Okay, so pick up the feathers and I'll keep an eye out for...
I don't know what I'm doing. Not yet.
All right. So do you want to? Anybody who haven't heard from yet? You see some of your party starting to shimmy around the rope across the chasm.
I'm going up the stairs. I ignore the feathers and I keep an eye out for everything while Z's character Thandley picks up the feathers.
Okay. So you start collecting those as you're going. So you're scurrying up.
I also keep an eye. I want to make sure that everyone's safe as we're doing this because we need to just get through and survive.
And they are slippery, slick, like polished marble stairs. As you start making your way, you're very sure-footed, so you can move faster as a thief.
Pull out some of the. No, that'll take too long. Yeah, just.
And you come up to the first level above you, and 2 eyes, one of them yellow and one green, staring at your face from a furry and eared face before you, just piercing and blinking. From the cat that
it's just a cat.
Yeah, that is just staring at you directly there on the top of the stairs.
He'll purr by accident. He'll purr at it by accident because he's got a lot of lion features.
Right. Oh yeah. Its ears go back a little at first as you start making the like low rumbling purring noise.
I assume he's got the knife out already.
And it responds affectionately. It immediately starts rubbing up against your face and arching its back, looking for a hand.
Nuzzle a bit, pull out some rations and feed.
Start doing some meat that you've got like dried meat in there or something like that. Okay, yeah. It seems to take to you immediately. What's that?
Are we still on the ground? Have they moved up?
Yeah, they're on the first floor. We're still in the
He's like headed up the stairs to the first one. Meanwhile,
I'm just collecting the feathers,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna head on up.
yeah, you're able to get. There's 26 of them in all. The scattered iridescent feathers, which you know, from past experience, are worth 10 gold each to the right collector, or the right buyer. Okay.
How many gold pieces each? I'm sorry.
10 each. If you find somebody to sell them to.
Okay.
So we all get 2, and 2 people get 3. I think they get 3 because they're the ones that were collecting them, and we all get 2.
It's okay to feed a cat beer, right?
Anybody have experience in that?
Because we don't have water anymore.
So
there must be some way to give drink to animals that are pets and stuff.
Oh, usually they would just do water,
just accept that water. Okay, well, I don't have any dirty water, because I've learned the lessons of water in this campaign.
We'll see how it feels about it. It's suspicious of it. Takes like a few licks, and it doesn't seem to want any more.
I drink it. It's just your loss.
Is this a real cat?
It appears to be.
It's not, we don't just see like eyes. Do I feel a dissonance?
No dissonance from it.
Wait, can you hear angels?
No, just from Deshaun.
Right, didn't you have the ability to hear angels?
Well, you could say
that was the last character.
Oh yeah, I should have brought that guy. Yeah, sorry.
Your description struck me a lot like the Cheshire Cat, which kind of symbolizes the subconscious nature of truth, which I think is a lot like the angel feathers, like the feathers are the symbol of truth. Can I hear advice coming from the cat?
Hear advice from. Did you have a transformation related to this? Oh, you're just trying to.
I'm just like
listen
hypothesizing that this cat is telling us something. I like to listen to it. It's a divine cat.
So you come up close. You're approaching on the stairs up behind and getting close. Where
I focus on you when you come near me in the cat, and I'm a little protective of the cat.
I'm currently down
as you get close, and it regards you. And as you approach it, it immediately hisses and arches its back, and it seems like intensely suspicious of you.
So telekinesis.
I kind of intervene.
Doesn't seem to take away.
Caleb, I kind of intervene, and I not like attack the cat, but like keeping it safe, pull it away.
You hiss back at the cat, and you start intervening and starting to try to pull.
Just protect, like make sure I'm protecting the cat.
What did you say about my mother?
Oh God, no, this is not good. This is not good.
Release me!
Yeah.
Just let him go. Drop
He's like, sure.
in the cat.
Let him go.
He falls to the floor.
I dare you to say such things again. I will have you know I am sharp of claw and of fang. I shall rend your flesh and bones.
And it starts stalking in front of you there. It's about the size of a house cat.
Okay, I think we run.
I have a question. This is where this cat's talking trash and about to attack you. If you summon a flame, it's a tiny bit. It's almost a red dot.
Okay. Yeah.
Just have a little red dot moving around.
This tiny little
distract the cat.
Okay.
Calm down.
Go ahead and cast the spell.
Summon red dot.
Summon red dot.
All right. So how much power? You're not putting much power into
Me
this.
too. I've got concentrate, so once I do it, I can just move the red dot around for a while and exhaust the cat.
Now you still have to put a die into it. So you can go ahead.
Go ahead. Down to one
it's a
die.
D6.
Alright, roll.
And you go ahead and roll it. And if it's high, you lose it for the day, basically.
3 or less. You want 3 or less.
I rolled a 1.
That's great. Let's go.
And you wanted a minimally powerful spell.